Welcome to another episode of Event Gems. This is season 3 of the podcast where coaches, consultants, and speakers learn how to produce profitable and impactful events. So events can be a heavy lift, and you want to ensure that you are strategically positioning yourself, your brand, and your event to not only change lives, but impact your bottom line. If you followed me for a while or listened to previous episodes of the podcast, then you know that I'm always preaching about the power of events to market and build your brand. However, there are times where I have seen some missed opportunities for income to be generated. And now that we're back outside, in this episode, I will be talking specifically about on-site events, but some of these tips can certainly be transferred to other types of events as well. So as you might already know, you can make money from events through the ticket sales, through sponsorships, through vendors. But what I have seen as one of the biggest impact and income generating results from events is what comes from the back end sales. This is where you offer a program or package that can further transform the lives of your attendees. And one of the key components to a successful and profitable event is the curated attendee experience. So why does this experience matter? A great experience starts long before the event even begins. It starts the moment the potential attendee learns about the event. That is in your marketing, and it extends even after the event has ended. It's all about delivering a seamless yet personalized event experience for the attendee. And when we're talking about event experience, you might be wondering, well, what is that exactly? And it's really referring to how attendees perceive and engage with your event. It doesn't matter the format or the type of event, but it includes how the attendees feel about registration, about ticketing, about the event content, about the on-site experience, and etc. Right? You know, one of my favorite quotes by Maya Angelou, or people might not always remember what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel, right? So think about what is the feeling that you're going for as you build out your event experience. So how can you really bring the attendees into your world and have them experience your brand? Two brands that I really think that does this really well is Audra Richmond. She was also a previous guest on the podcast who talked about how to make your brand more memorable. If you don't know who she is, first of all, go follow her. Second, whenever she does an event, whether that be online, through her workshops or her conference, she always invites you into her world. And it's a bright and colorful world, right? And you also know what she stands for. She stands for brands being uncloned in their marketing, in their launching, and how they even show up online. And so I even recently joined one of her programs. And after joining the membership program, I got this beautiful box with some amazing, branded items. And I just absolutely loved the onboarding experience. So again, if you haven't checked her out, go ahead and check her out. And she is just a great example of someone who allows you to step into her world. You see what her brand is like. You see what she stands for. And then it becomes an immediate yes if you feel aligned with who she is, right? And then the other brand is Sassy Jones. If you're not following, then again, go ahead and find Sassy Jones on social media, which is an online and brick and mortar boutique that sells accessories for bold and bodacious women, right? And one of the things that the founder does is she does these sparkle parties. And it's really like you're in her closet, hanging out, probably having a glass of wine and trying on beautiful items, earrings, scarves, hats, really playing dress up. And I really love how she makes you feel like you and her are just friends. You're just hanging out. And within it, you're also trying on these beautiful items with her. And so, again, if you align and resonate with her and resonate with the items, then you're going to be like, yes. So that's really how you want to think about your event experience is how can you bring your attendees on that journey, have them fully experience who you are, what you stand for, what your mission is, and how you can really transform their lives. So as you build out your attendee experience, those are some of the things, the key things that I really want you to be thinking about. So like I said, the event experience starts before the event. So, what are some of the things that you want to consider before? It's your marketing collateral and the content that you're sharing on social media to attract your ideal audience. It's the registration process. Is it easy? Is it difficult to register? What kind of data are you collecting to ensure that you provide a more personalized experience for your attendees, right? And this is something that could be quick and short, but you also want to be able to just gather data on your attendees so that you can customize the experience even more for them. And this can even be in your email marketing, right? To just when you're sending out your emails, it's Natasha, you are now registered, right? Or perhaps it is you asking specific questions about challenges that they might be having within their life or business. And leading up to the event, you can specifically send them curated content based on that. Maybe you have a blog post already, maybe you have a podcast, or maybe you have, additional content that might be related to what some of those quote unquote pain points are for them. So maybe it's marketing. So they're segmented based on, those who have challenges with marketing, or segmented based on those who have challenges with branding. So those are some of the things that you could think about in terms of how you can personalize the experience for the attendees, even leading up to. And of course, you want to make sure that you're highlighting, some of the hot stuff or the things that are going to be a part of your event as well. But, how can you even make it even slightly more niche, right? So you want to think about that. How quickly are you responding to your attendees' questions, or how upfront are you being about the time in which they should expect a response? So a lot of times for my events, I like to put, if you have a question, you'll get a response within 24 to 48 hours. So they know that within that time frame, that's when they should expect a response. If they have no idea about when they should expect a response, if they haven't received that response within a day or so, they might be wondering, okay, is anybody going to reach out to me and answer my question? And so, right there is a notch taken off in terms of the experience that they're going to have. All right. So, what do you do during the event? What are some things that you should be considering? You want to ensure that there is adequate signage so that people know, the attendees know where the registration desk is, where is check in, and you make that an easy process for them. Again, you want to make sure that the experience is as seamless and frictionless as possible. So make sure that your team is also friendly and informed and helpful. Small things like, let's say, for example, you're somewhere where it's cold and people are coming in with a coat. Maybe you can help them with point them to where the coat rack is, or take the coat for them. Those little things add to the experience and show that you care. And so you want to make sure that your team is well informed and also being helpful. If someone doesn't look like they know what's going on, maybe they could go over to them and help them. If someone is crying, maybe they could go over there and talk to them and see how they can support them in any way. So these are the things that you want to consider as you build out your team as well. And again, it extends to the attendee experience. You also want to make sure that you're facilitating opportunities for people to network and connect with other attendees. Why do people attend these conferences or summits? They want to be able to connect with other people who are like-minded or who can support them on their business or personal journey. So you want to make sure that you're building that in as well, so that they have the opportunity to connect with other attendees. And of course, you want to make sure that the content is also delivering on the promise of the event. I know that your content is going to be fire, but just wanted to make sure that I added that in there as well as something that contributes to the overall experience that the attendees might have. So now that your event is over, what do you do next, right? The event is over, but the experience is not over. So as soon as possible after the event, you want to make sure that you're gathering attendee feedback. And this can even be sent within like a few hours or an hour, after the event has wrapped up, within a few hours or a couple of days. But you don't want to send it like a week later, now that people have already settled into their lives again and they've forgotten about, some of the juicy points of the event or some of the experiences that they had. You want to send this within a couple hours so that it's fresh, the experience is still fresh in their mind and you're getting the most accurate feedback as possible. You also want to have a reflection with your team members to just assess what went well and what needs to be improved for the next go around. You also want to make sure that you're analyzing the feedback from your attendees, right? So once those feedback starts coming in, You want to make sure that you're analyzing that feedback and see what changes you need to make in order for you to ensure an even bigger and better experience the next go around. And let's just say you have some negative feedback. Just remember, do not beat yourself up. Do not beat yourself up if there is negative feedback. You're simply going to use this as data collection and an opportunity for you to do better the next go around. And lastly, you want to make sure that you are sharing user generated content and highlights from the event. There were so many times where there was an event that I wanted to go to, but I couldn't go to. And then I go on the page and I'm checking their stories and I see nada. And it's kind of like, all right, well, if the tree fell and no one heard it or saw it, did it really happen? Right? I want to know what happened. Was it good? Should I be experiencing FOMO right now? Or on the other hand, I've, wanted to attend an event, didn't attend, and I go on their page and it looks lit. And I'm like, oh my God, I missed out. I missed out. So that's what you want people who didn't attend your event. You want them to feel like, yo, I missed out. I need to be at the next one. That thing looks like it was turned up. Okay. So, you really don't want to discount, the power of social currency. And in order for you to recoup your investment, you need to create a positive experience that furthers engagement and can live long beyond the end date and time of your event. So, for example, if someone had a great time at your event, they become even more engaged with your business. And this continued engagement will likely result in increased revenue for your business, since that person will now use your services more often and they're going to be sharing it with friends. I recently read a book called Experiences, the Seventh Era of Marketing. And the authors wrote that every experience has to be consistent. Experience-driven touch point that goes beyond the products and services sell. So the experience is your differentiating edge that will turn your prospects into attendees, turn the attendees into clients. So in closing, make the experience seamless, personalize it, and make it memorable. All right. So thank you so much for listening to the very first episode of season 3. Again, if you enjoy this podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you caught those gems. Now let's fly.